Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we will have our first introduction to the outdoors. So every year it's really important for me to spend the time and get Hazel seasoned. That just means to be able to kind of take her out, get her to see a little bit outside, because it is definitely way different for a horse to be indoors and ridden outdoors. The outdoors definitely has a lot of distractions. It could be the wind, we have cars going by, we also have other horses in the paddock sometimes. So just by taking the horse outside, spending the time to lunge them on the outdoors and see how they react, you'll pretty much have a good idea on how it's gonna go down. For Hazel, this was the first actually year that we were able to actually go outside. We arrived at that facility last year on Canada Day, which is on July 1st. And after 3 months of COVID and a bad experience at the previous barn, she was in really rough shape, and so I really, by the time she was ready or fit enough to be ridden, it was no longer summer anymore, so she's been ridden exclusively out inside at that facility. So that was a really interesting test for us today, just to see how she was doing outside. She didn't do actually too bad. For sure she tried to canter a little bit and got herself a little bit excited by times, but other than that I feel like she was pretty quiet. She wasn't going as wild as I thought she would be. So depending on how Hazel's doing on the outdoors, I would basically base my decision on how many times I would lunge her before I'm ready to ride her. In this case, she's not that crazy. Of course, she had a little bit of energy, but she always does. She wasn't like overly like pulling me in any direction. She was pretty responsive, which was really good. So that wasn't too bad. So 2 lunging sessions I think will do the trick. So I'll probably get another one done soon, and then we'll be able to ride outside afterwards. So after 15-20 minutes lunging outside, I of course decided to ride indoors. So the lunging on the outside is only to get her a little bit ready to the elements and see the outdoors, but she's not ready to be ridden yet outside. So that's why I'm gonna spend some time riding her on the indoor arena. And today we're lucky because it's so nice outside that most riders are actually using the outdoor arena. And that leaves us the whole inside arena for ourselves. So that was pretty cool. So we had enough time to get to do everything that I wanted and beyond. So that was pretty nice. So my 2 objectives here today are, of course, working the shoulder placement. That's something that it's just my little project of the day. I'm really trying to get her to be a little bit more aware of her shoulder position and make sure that they're bending in the proper direction. And of course, the canter is always something that we want to work on. We are definitely very close or almost there for the canter. I just for the dressage though, I need her canter to be a little less energetic, a little bit more compressed. So today that's what I worked on, making sure I could balance her and get her to be as balanced as well as collected as I could. So that was my objective here. But as you can see, it's pretty fluid, and I can definitely ride her anywhere I want at the canter, and it's not an issue so far. So she most of the time will pick the correct lead and we can just go on. Sometimes we do have enough one where she's not picking up the correct lead, but I'm thinking that it's gonna come with time, because these days I'm really trying to start her on a straight line at a canter and then just do circles if I want to. So as you'll see here, her impulse, like her first few strides are very, very powerful still. And then she balances herself. So I'm trying to get to work that pace and that flow a little bit. I'm really satisfied with her head placement at the time, but I just think that she's going a little faster than normal, and that she, should go. It's not the fastest canter, but you can tell there's a lot of power in there. So I want her to relax and really take her time in the canter and just enjoy it a little bit. So that will come as well with time. She definitely has way more stamina, and she can keep herself collected for way longer. So it's actually really great. But we'll start working on those as well. One of the last thing that I've been working on is as well as my cues or my aids with my legs for the canter, and try to be a little bit more direct and try to get her to pick up the canter right away if I can. She usually takes 2 to 3 strides to get into the canter, and just it kind of slowly develops. I just want her to be a little sharper on that. And then I'm taking also this opportunity to work on shoulder placement, and in this case I'm just trying to get her to just go laterally a little bit. That really helps for her focus, as well as her shoulder placement. So that's more kind of a shoulder in type of placement here. So she's aware that she has to bend to my leg, and that's the correct bend. So right now she's just kind of working those shoulders a little bit. So here I'm just going in the other direction, which is actually going pretty smoothly. That's the direction she used to really be opposed to when I used to do leg heels. So right now she's a little bit more tolerant, and we were able to do all across the arena. If you remember, about a month past, we were able to just do quarter lines to the side of the arena in a side pass, because she was getting very frazzled, very annoyed by me asking her to just move sideways. Right now she's definitely more acceptant of it. And it's definitely helpful, especially for her to understand where her shoulder should be when I'm asking her to turn or move off my leg and such. I just want her to bend a little bit more. She is flexible. She just has to work that element, because sometimes she surprises me with her shoulder not being in the right place, especially when we're cantering, which kind of causes us to lean inward, like the whole horse is leaning inside, and I am leaning with her because I'm on her back. So we want to keep the horse on 4 legs if we can instead of 2. So that's definitely something we have to work on. So here I decide to just change things up and then just go with kind of a loop pattern mid-arena, and that's just to kind of help us make sure that she is paying attention to me. It's just a different, change of figures. We always do circles, and it's usually at one end or the other. So I decided I would just try something different and see if she's paying attention. And she's doing pretty good as well. I'm really happy and pleased with her. She's following my direction. So it's the same thing. I'm going to ask her to stop and back up, and just to see if she's paying attention. So all these things is just to kind of work on her focus, on her own focus to me, and so she can just kind of tune in to what I want to do and just let herself be guided. And that really helps with the communication overall. I think it's just little exercises like that to just ask her to stop, do nothing, because she used to be very impatient, and it's just kind of, I think that we have to work on. So I'm just doing random stops, because it's been, I think, a couple weeks that I've been doing stops at the X, and so it's always for the X out salute, but I don't want her to just only stop when I'm putting her at X, right? So see, I'm doing one of the X out salute here, but I also want to do it all around the arena if I can. So here, working on self-carriage, I want Hazel to be able to carry herself and not accelerate too much. But I'm just giving her a little bit more freedom in her head and neck because she has her head positioned pretty great. I just want to give her the benefit of the doubt and see how she's handling that. The rein is definitely looser as well. And I'm practicing here. I'm trying to get an extended canter. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's like a work in progress. But as you can tell here, the canter is pretty good. As you can see here, we're leaning a little bit towards the inside. So that's something I'm trying to fix by opening my outside rein, trying to get her to really stay on four legs is actually the goal here. She is, I don't know why she has a tendency to really like shoulder in, like lean in the circles. And kind of cut corner that way, and it's not proper, so we have to really fix that. So here, working straight lines at the center line here, she's doing pretty good. If you guys would compare this video to a couple months ago, she's definitely able to go in a straight line. Her straightness is greatly improved. As you can see, she's properly muscled on both sides. She's pretty even. So I'm really pleased that she's actually able to physically be like straighter, and that really helps a lot. Now mentally, she is definitely also more receptive. As you can see, if I'm asking her something, I don't have to ask twice. She gets it done right away, and then we can move on to the next exercise here. So that's just a nice kind of extended walk, if you will, that I'm working on, getting her to relax and supple and, you know, just reach for the bit here. So that's actually perfect as an extended walk if ever I was to enter the dressage ring. So for those of you that have been following us for a bit, this used to be the direction that Hazel was used to have a lot of trouble with. And as you can see, it's the direction that she's actually the most balanced on, which I really like. She's really easy to handle on that side. She comes a little bit heavy on the forehand on the opposite side. So that's something we're going to have to work on, but I'm really pleased to see how good she's taking herself for the canter on that lead specifically. So that's a good exercise. She's definitely closer to her goal on that direction than on the other because she's easier to balance on that side for some reason. So that's at least a positive point. That's something I'll be working probably in the next few weeks. Like I said, I really want her to be taking herself, like just relaxing kind of a little bit into the canter and just kind of pacing herself a little bit too, not needing to go and cover so much ground as much as just, you know, staying in the motion kind of thing. So that's something we'll be working on because I can't be going at that speed into the dressage ring, so I really have to make sure that I can balance that quite good. So trying to collect her on the shorter side and just make the trot a little bit more forward on the either the center line or on the sides, the longer side of the arena. So collected on the shorter side, extended on the longer side. I'm still having an issue with having her like properly kind of reaching forward with her front legs, but that's something I will be working on shortly. As you can see here, just same thing, straightness in the center. We're really pretty much there, and then just asking her to stop at random points just so she doesn't anticipate too much that I'm going to stop at X or I'm going to dismount, and just kind of removing those trigger points. So working her a little bit on the long sides and the center of the arena, just kind of preparing or trying to just reinforce the exalt salute. You definitely get marked on the exalt salute, so it's really important that your horse is square when it stops and that it doesn't want to, you know, rush forward 2 seconds later. So you have time to do a proper stop and then just salute and then go. So that's something that I'm just working on here, as well as just the straightness. They have to be dead center as well. So that will come eventually. So I'm just working her a little bit on the straightness before I dismount. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you could please subscribe, hit the like button, and just put your comment in the section down below so I can actually read your comments and see what you guys think of this lesson. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye bye.